Pinterest problems. For today's Pinterest problem project, we are going to be cooking something up. My favorite vacation spot is Disney, and my ultimate favorite dessert there is churros, or I guess it used to be, because once I became vegan, I learned that unfortunately the churros at Disney are not vegan friendly. But that is not gonna stop us. Today we are going to be trying a pin out that shows us how to make vegan friendly churros. The ingredients that we'll need to make these churros are sugar, salt, vegetable oil, all-purpose flour, ground cinnamon, some measuring cups and measuring spoons, a piping bag, a decorating tip in the shape of a star, a big plastic bag, a medium pan, a pan that's like a wok, and water. According to the pin, our first step is to boil 1 cup of water in a medium pan. So far, so good. And let's bring this to a boil. The next step says to add the sugar and salt until it's dissolved. 2.5 tablespoons of sugar and half a teaspoon of salt. Add 2 tablespoons, whoopsie daisies, of vegetable oil. Put a little less in that second one. And remove the pan from the heat. The next step is to add the flour. So they want us to add 1 cup of flour to this mixture. After adding the flour, we need to stir the ingredients to make sure that they are all combined. Kind of tastes like a pancake. In what I pinned, it doesn't say what the consistency should be like, but here is where we're at. The next step is to pour this mixture into a piping bag with the star tip. Now, personally, I have never worked with piping bags before, so I should probably read the directions. It says to use bag without a coupler, helicopter. Well, what I pinned doesn't call for whatever that helicopter thing is, so it doesn't matter. So to use it without that, simply drop decorating tip into bag with the narrow end of the tip down and trim bag to fit. Okay. Okay, so I probably do need to trim the end. Let me get some scissors. Alright, so it's starting to come through, but not all the way, so let's trim a little bit more. This looks pretty good. I feel like a professional chef now. Next step, after getting the tip into the bag, 20 minutes later, is pour the mixture into the piping bag. Our next step then is to take our pan or wok and put 2 to 3 cups of vegetable oil in it. I'm gonna go with 3 cups just to be safe. 1, 2, 3. It does say to heat over medium heat and then squeeze churro length pieces of batter into the oil. I've let my oil heat up and I touched it, I burned myself. I think that's a sign that it's time to put our batter in it. And fry until golden brown. Am I in Disney World? As you saw, I made a couple different ones, and golden brown wasn't really achieved very easily. They smell really good though, so hopefully they turned out. Let's let them cool and we'll see what happens. So the next step is to combine our cinnamon and sugar into our large plastic bag and shake until they're well combined. Pour 1/2 cup of sugar and 2 teaspoons of ground cinnamon. And then place each churro one by one into the mixture to coat it evenly. I have made 4 different churros to try. They all vary in how long I let them sit in the oil for. So let's try the very first one. This one sat in the oil the least amount of time. The outer shell is really, really good, but the inside is still really doughy. Not a perfect churro. That one is a fail. The next one that I made is a little darker than the first one, so let's see if this one is cooked better inside. Definitely on the right path. The outside tastes even better than the first one. However, I think the inside is still a little too doughy. However, this third one that I made is even just a tad darker than the second one, so let's see what this one tastes like. Okay, they definitely get better and better as we go. Let me try one more bite of this one. This one by far is the best, but inside just seems a little doughy still. This one I thought seemed too dark after I took it out of the oil, but maybe it's cooked the best inside, so let's see. Final verdict is even the darkest one tasted doughy on the inside still. We've got a Pinterest problem. None of these are perfect. On my scale of 1 being a Pinterest problem and 10 being Pinterest perfect, I'm giving these churros, sadly, a 4. They did not turn out that great. However, there was just pretty much one major Pinterest problem, and that would be the oil. In the directions, it said to heat the oil on medium heat. However, it didn't say how long to keep it heating for before putting the batter into the oil. And no matter how dark or light I made my churros, they never cooked fully on the insides. So the temperature of the oil, I think, was the biggest factor as to why these didn't turn out. Also in the directions, it said to cook your churros until golden brown, which I feel like everybody knows what golden brown looks like. However, even with that, it didn't give you a time frame. So once I put my dough into the oil, mine turned golden brown really, really quick. Again though, I think that goes along the lines of how long to heat the oil for. I think my oil was just heating for way too long, and that's why the outsides turned golden brown so quickly, but the insides didn't cook all the way. There were also a couple observations that I made along the way that I would consider to be Pinterest problems. One is that this was pretty messy. When I was squeezing my dough into the oil, a lot of it came out of the piping bag, and you saw by the time I was done trying to make these, my hands were covered in dough. So just try to keep that dough in the piping bag. Another observation was it was really hard to squeeze the dough into churro length sizes. Once I squeezed it into the oil, it started to cook right away, so it was hard to keep it going in a straight line, and I just got like squiggly churros.
Gizmo, could you please give everyone your thoughts on the churros? Gizzy, can you tell me what you think about the churros?
The cost of this Pinterest project was around $10. A lot of the ingredients, if not all of them, are common things that you would probably already have at home, except the piping bag and the star tip. I found both of those at Michael's, and the rest of the things I actually already had. If you try this pin out, let me know how long you heat your oil for and how long you keep your churros in there for. Did they turn out? Let me know. If you liked this video and want to see more, subscribe to my channel, and if you've seen something on Pinterest that you want me to try, leave a comment for me down below and maybe it will be what I make in my next video. And of course, most importantly, keep on pinning. See you next week. Bye!